Welcome to Home with Phuntsok, everyone. First of all, thank you so much to everyone who responded to the survey. Your insights, requests, and feedback are really going to help Phuntsok better understand you, and with his wealth of knowledge and experience, what he can offer that would be of most meaning and benefit to us. So I think most of us are already familiar. This is our sort of COVID adapted online edition of Home, which used to take place in Brooklyn, where we would actually gather in person, have tea, meditate together, receive a teaching from Phuntsok, and have a group discussion. And while it's wonderful to meditate together with Phuntsok's guidance and this warm collective energy of our togetherness, the rest of the days we're on our own. And what we're doing in our daily practice matters a lot because it determines where we're going and what we're progressing towards. And nowadays we're in this massive influx of cross-cultural knowledge from the internet and so many different sources that we have so much access to so much knowledge all at once. And in this modern westernized world, we'll undoubtedly encounter broken and diluted teachings that at the end of the day are merely distractions and detours, and turn higher goals of practice into mundane, abstract, lofty concepts. And so one of the common requests that came up in the survey responses was the desire to find more stability and cope with overwhelming stress. And of course, we take care of our physical wellness, but when it comes to meditation, all meditation, and especially the lineage-based path, begins and is fueled with Shamatha, also known as calm abiding and single-pointed meditation. And maybe I'm not alone, but there was a time where I found Shamatha boring or thought it was elementary, and I wanted to quickly progress to more advanced meditations. But as I came to understand and still learning, Shamatha is such a valuable building block on the path and something we have to continue to practice all the time. It's a balancer so that we're not in the dull, foggy state, nor in the state of overstimulation and attention deficit. It calms the turbulence and delusional tendencies of the mind. And if it's not, and it's not something that we start with, master, and move on from, because Shamatha alone won't bring us to liberation, but it's the essential bridge, the on-ramp and facilitator to all other forms of meditation and higher practices. So we're here today to ask Phuntsok to clarify the different aspects of Shamatha meditation and what it really means to settle the mind, and how we can build on this practice to truly be unshakable in both our daily lives and on our path to irreversible transformation and genuine happiness. So Phuntsok, please.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. So also there's some other things that what do you call it? Housekeeping that I'm going to be talking about a little bit. And I've been thinking that perhaps the home sessions have been a bit too long. I mean, almost 2 hours and a half. And I think, as I have to say, I'm at awe with your patience over the years. I mean, 2 hours and a half. I had to, wait a minute, it's been 2 hours and a half. That's how long I've been keeping these people up at night. So with consultation with self and other selves, we thought perhaps we just leave it for an hour, maybe an hour and a half. I think that will give us enough time. And that will also make me talk less and also really give opportunities for you to ask questions. So I'm going to be Doing this, we're going to keep the same format: meditation, talk, opportunities for you to ask questions, and then we close with a meditation. And the meditations will not be as long as I tend to make them. I'll make them as short as I can, and the key word is as I can. Okay. I don't know about short meditations. I hear there's supposed to be 2-minute meditations. I don't know what you can do in 2-minute meditation, but they're supposed to be those kinds of things. Um, so tonight's topic is about, I love the title that was chosen, Settling the Mind in an Unsettling World and the Gifts of Shamatha. In the very subtitle, The Gifts of Shamatha, don't think that in this 1 hour, even if we were to do it for 2 hours and a half like we used to, we're not going to be able to get everything you need to know. So you can say, okay, now I understand Shamatha. Now I can begin practicing Shamatha. We want to arrive at a place where we have some sort of understanding, where we have a greater sense of confidence about the topic of Shamatha, and especially, and I keep saying shamatha, shamatha, shamatha. Shamatha is not an English word. Of course, it's a foreign word. And we want to come out of it where we don't feel that this is such a foreign concept at the end of it. At least that. It's not foreign. It's something that the mind, our mind, can get to. And it's something that we want to get to. Our mind can get to it, and we want to get to it. So that's what we're going to try to get to. What is it, and how do we get to it? And the wanting to get to it. Okay. The actual hows of how to go deeper and deeper into shamatha, that's for like a workshop or a course or something like that. Okay. So keeping to the format, let's begin with a meditation, a short meditation. I try to make a short meditation. And we'll dive into the topic. And I hope this time I discovered that this mic could actually move forward. I thought it was fixed into that position where it was stuck like in the hole of my cheek. But now I'm able to move it forward. I hope the sound is a bit better this time. Okay, good. Thank you. All right. Okay, so let's begin with a short meditation. Mm-hmm. Whenever you're about to meditate, you should be clear in your mind that you are going to meditate. And when you do that, you summon unconsciously the innate wisdom, the innate understanding of what meditation is supposed to be. And I'm going to be doing some reading from Jason Kappa's text, a little bit here and there. Don't worry, I'm not going to read the entire text. And so we can get a clearer understanding of what meditation is. Okay, so before you start doing any meditation, first thing you need to do is to have a conscious awareness that I'm going to meditate, and allow the innate understanding of meditation to come to the surface, and let it guide the meditation. So be attuned to it and let it guide. It will let it guide you as to how should I position my body. Hold the intention to meditate. Hold that intention, being aware, bring that awareness of I'm wanting that intention to meditate, bring it to the body. And that will allow you to be in attunement with the natural intelligence of the body. It will give you advice. The advice will come as impulses. You might think they are distracting impulses, but they are actually impulses coming from the intelligence of the body. The sudden need to fix your seat, the sudden need to fix your legs and arms, your back. That's coming from that intelligence of the body. So allow it to guide you. Make the adjustments that it is suggesting in the legs, in the hips, in the spine, in the arms and shoulders, in the head and neck, with the mouth, teeth, and tongue, with the muscles of the face, with the eyes. There's no such thing as you must meditate with your eyes in this way or that way. Just like your body's intelligence guides you arrange your legs this way, it will also guide you to arrange, place your eyes this way. Some people it's closed, some people it's slightly open, others halfway, others even staring straight ahead. Whatever helps you to go into the meditative state, that's what you adopt for your eyes. So in the posture itself, you should have a sense that I am entering, I'm at the threshold of meditation, the meditative state. So you keep making adjustments, minor, great, until that sense of I am at the threshold, or I'm beginning to enter meditation is felt in the body. And once you feel that you're at the threshold, is a sense of I'm ready to enter, I'm ready to experience and be aware of ever subtle levels of my own consciousness, of my own mind. And when you feel ready, then you do something that sort of commits you to what you're about to do. And the way we've been doing it is with a breath, a deep breath. So you feel ready. And with that sense of readiness, you move your entire being forward in the commitment to into meditation with a deep breath. Through the nose, gently, fully breathe in. You can hold for a little bit if you want, if you need. And then as you let go through the mouth, feel that you're letting go throughout your body, throughout your mind, and energetically. Okay. And as you let go, let go, let go, feel yourself entering into the space of meditation now, letting go, letting go, letting go, letting go, letting go in the body, letting go in the mind, letting go, letting go, letting go, allowing natural, allowing more naturalness, allowing more naturalness, letting go, letting go, letting go, letting go. And have some measure of confidence that you are indeed in a different state of consciousness. It may not be so obvious at first, but there is something about it. If you allow yourself, you can let yourself know that I am experiencing right here, right now, a different state of consciousness. I am right here, right now, in some measure in the meditative state. And what will give you the confidence, the conviction that this is true, scan the body. Notice how the body is a bit more quiet, a bit more stable, a bit more steady, a bit more calm, and attribute these more steadiness, more calmness, more pleasantness to being, qualities of being in the meditative state. And by bringing attention to that, we are reinforcing that, we are encouraging it. We are at the same time fighting against the natural doubts, the natural lack of convictions by directly witnessing these are signs that I'm in meditation. This calmness in my body that is arising and strengthening. This pleasantness that I'm feeling palpably in my body and strengthening. And I'm witnessing them also energetically. I'm also witnessing them in some measure in my mind, in some mental way. There is a sense of calming. In some mental way, there's a sense of more pleasantness. And as you continue to direct attention to these signs that will reinforce the momentum, to go deeper. And whatever you were letting go of naturally, you may not be consciously aware of them, but by allowing yourself to be aware of the effects, that will slowly allow you to be aware of the cause of these effects. What is it that you're letting go of that is allowing for the body to be calmer? Slowly you will become aware of that, and you will be able to directly go and let go of them. But for now, you may not be aware of exactly what is it that you're letting go of. You just are holding onto the sense of letting go, and then something is happening. So just keep doing that. And then keep noticing the effects in the body. Keep noticing the effects in the very act of breathing itself. Keep noticing the effect becoming more and more perceptible in the mind itself. And there is a kind of subtle conviction arising, also strengthening. This is meditation. So whenever you direct your attention to one of the signs, that little instinct, that little conviction gets strengthened. This is meditation. And there's a general sense that you are aware of that tells you this is the meditative state. It's like a general sense of a quality to all the experiences, like a summary of the experiences that you feel in the body, that you feel energetically, that you feel in the mind, that you feel in the breath, that you feel emotionally, and in some other non-conceptual way also. Just stay in that lane. Now, to stabilize where we are, you can discover some means of doing that. And the way we've been doing it is to take 3 full breaths with the same consciously inhaling through the nose, fully, gently, and letting go through the mouth. And as you let go through the mouth, notice that the signs deepen in the body, the calm deepen in the body, the calm deepen in the breath, the calm deepen in the mind, and have a conscious intention to stay at the place you arrive at the end of the exhalation. And when you do that, there might be a pause of a second, pausing the breathing. So don't worry about that. No, don't hold on to the pause. Just allow it to be natural. And when your breath naturally comes back, let it come back while you stay where you've reached. Stay in the calm, stay in the pleasantness. And notice the clarity beginning to dawn in the mind. Notice the luminosity beginning to dawn in the mind. Notice the collectiveness of attention dawning in the mind. Further signs that this is indeed meditation. Stay aware of them. So together through the nose, breathe in with the intention to deepen and stabilize. And through the mouth, let go, let go, let go, let go, let go. Again. And let go, let go, let go, let go, let go, let go. Staying at the depth for the 3rd time. Through the nose, breathe in gently, fully. And let go. And at the end, notice the quality. Try to stay with it, but just by being aware of the quality. Just by being aware of the quality. Stay there. There's a particular quality that is dawning. Be aware of it. By merely bringing attention, bringing awareness to it, that itself is strengthening it, enhancing it. And continue that process of letting go. Once in a while, you may feel the need to go into your body, in the hips, in the legs, in the shoulders, especially for a lot of people. where you feel some tension is being held unconsciously, and go there and just hold the intention. I want to let go, and notice the collapsing taking place in the shoulders, in the hips. Notice yourself physically going deeper into the seat. And as you notice these signs, rejoice. And if you can maintain this alone, that itself is the means of deepening and strengthening meditation. And it's only because of the tendency of the mind, because of its habit of being easily persuaded to be drawn away from this natural state, that we deliberately bring something into that space. And that is what is referred to as the object of meditation. And it could be anything. It could be one of these things that you're experiencing, and you bring deliberate attention to it. It could be something that you create in the mind. It could be a feeling that you create, or a feeling that is present. Something that you reconstruct from your senses. And what we're going to do here, as to deliberately bring attention to, is this feeling, the sensation at the forehead. Bring attention there. As you bring attention there, you might notice brightness. If you don't notice brightness, then bring the idea of brightness there. And to help collect attention where in that space, we begin to qualify what is that brightness? What is causing that brightness? And we can create that. And right now, let's say our potential, our Buddha nature, our capacity to fulfill every meaningful aspiration that we have. That's what's appearing as that brightness. And why is it appearing? It's appearing because we have sincerely called upon it to guide us. How do we achieve you? How do we manifest you? And because of that sincere request, it's appearing as a guide. And to help anchor our attention, we bring up emotions towards that. Oh my goodness, the means to fulfill my highest aspiration is right here, right now in front of me. How do you feel towards that? Reverence, gratitude, and trust. So let these emotions come up to help you anchor attention. Have deep respect for this potential of yours, appearing as your guide, your teacher, your protector. Have trust in it, that it will protect you, that it will guide you. And the guidance will be personal. It will be practical. It will be just for you. And bring up the aspect of faith, conviction, that you are indeed connecting right here, right now, with what is for you the most meaningful encounter, your own potential. And this potential indeed will guide you, indeed will protect you. So have the sense of it's already done. It is assured now that I will fulfill what's meaningful for me to achieve, because I've made contact with the means of doing so. and to express that conviction, you let loose a deep sense of gratitude, a gratitude that holds that conviction. Like you go to somebody you trust, they're going to do something for you, and you have so much faith, so much conviction that they will fulfill what you're asking them. You already have a sense of gratitude. So express the gratitude. And after expressing this gratitude, understanding that the actual means to fulfill your highest aspiration is right here in front of you. And you don't want to be separated from its inspiration, from the capacity for it to influence you directly. So as a means of making this apparent to yourself, to make yourself a witness of this, bring this beautiful, bright presence from the space in front of you at the level of your forehead to the crown. And as you move it there, feel energetically the brightness moving to the crown of your head. And just like you had a sensation in the forehead, now you have a sensation at the crown. And be aware of the shining brightness shining on you. It is not just light that is shining on you. It is the guidance. It is the protection. It is the means to remove whatever it is that is obstructing you. The lack of confidence, the hesitations, the fears. It is filling you with everything that you need, the clarity of mind. And strengthen that conviction. The means to fulfill my highest aspiration is right above my head. And you feel it. The means to fulfill that means of the highest aspiration is right above my head. And with that, with a exhale, a letting go, allow that brightness to come and dwell in the very center of your heart. And just hold that presence in your heart and reviewing what is it that is now present in the very center of your heart. And bring up, you're here, you're gathering here, specifically, consciously, to have some sort of, to gain some further understanding, to gain some further clarification. And it is that which is in your heart right now that will help you, that will listen, that will reveal. Now go back to just the feel of the meditation with the intention to arise. With that intention to arise, take a nice deep breath in through the nose, out the mouth. And deliberately, consciously, let yourself be aware of your immediate surroundings, even though you may have been aware of them, but now consciously, deliberately be aware through the sense of touch, the temperature, the position of the body, what's touching the body through sense of hearing and the sense of sight. Okay, believe it or not, that was about 15 minutes. So I'm starting to a little bit keep my promise about time. Let's see if I can continue. Okay. Like I said, I'm going to be reading a little bit of things from Jitsong Kappa, from the Lamrim Chenmo. And there are so many beautiful translations of it. Uh, but before we go into that, settling the mind in an in a unsettling world. In the very title of this, it tells us something. It tells us that the world is not going to just become settled. It's not that the world was unsettled, but it's unsettling. And what makes the world unsettling? Well, that's something we don't have time to go into that, but that's what we experience, whether it's environmental, political, economically, or socially, in all these kinds of words, in these kinds of ways, it's unsettling. Okay. And one of the things that I also want to bring to bear in mind is to bring it clearly into the forefront is that not to blow up your ego or anything like that. Okay. So you're gonna feel very good after I say what I'm gonna say, but don't let it blow your ego, okay? Okay, keep your ego in check. You have your ego, okay? Hold on to it, keep it in check, make sure it doesn't blow up, okay? You already are among the very few who are making conscious effort at making your life meaningful, okay? And then this is what this talk is really about. It's about people who have decided consciously, I want to bring meaning to my life. I'm not talking about just in a way that is temporary, but in a way that is lasting. Just like it says in the email that you are seeking genuine happiness. And I know for a lot of people that because happiness has become so elusive, and I think a lot of philosophers have given up. And because they've given up, they're coming up with new philosophies where they're talking about happiness is that's for kids, that's for babies. Okay. And I think it's because they became defeated. And I think it's because they've lost hope. They don't think that they can actually achieve genuine happiness anymore because it has eluded them for so long. So they think it's something that doesn't really exist. And people who believe in achieving something as genuine happiness, there's something wrong with them. And to the point where even the word happiness has come to mean something completely something different. Like people will even come out and say, no, I don't want happiness, and I have no idea what that means, but that's supposed to have some meaning in their minds. Okay, but still, there's a perhaps the word happiness doesn't quite capture what we are making conscious effort at achieving, but the sense of meaning, seeking a meaningful existence, it could be that is very strong tendency within a lot of people. In doing that, in this sincere effort in trying to come up with a realization of meaningful existence, with our curiosity, we've ventured into so many different avenues. Some of them are religious, some of them are philosophical, some of them are in the, I guess, nowadays in a wellness industry, where they've taken certain elements of religion, certain elements of philosophy, certain elements of science, and then sort of put them together and then try to come up with some means of helping us to achieve meaningful existence. And because of that, we've come up with an avalanche of different terms. Sometimes the terms are the same in different institutions, but different institutions have different meanings or different presentations of these things, of these different terms. And one of the terms that one theme that they seem to be stressing a lot, it seems to cover what that term shamatha seems to be covering. Whether the tradition or the tradition that you are following, that you read about, that you know of, whether they use the actual term shamatha itself, that word shamatha itself, or something else, but they have an understanding of the necessity of something like it. And especially for people who've been on the path for quite some time, you've come up with the term shamatha has come up many times. And has come up many times, and where you have to reach shamatha, and you make some effort at reaching shamatha, and you can't seem to reach it. And now the term shamatha seems to have so many different kinds of meaning, and then what it does, it creates confusion within us. What is shamatha? What is it that the word shamatha is trying to point to? What experience the word shamatha is trying to point to? If we can just look at that, then the term shamatha itself, you can just dispense of that and just stick with the meaning of it. Okay, just like it says, don't listen too much to the word, but listen to the meaning. Okay, let's try to get to the meaning of that. The way that shamatha is defined is going to turn you off, and I think it is this definition that has turned a lot of people off from even meaningfully, I would say meaningfully pursuing shamatha. Is that it's sechik, one-pointedness of mind, one-pointedness of attention, and that itself leads us to a lot of trouble. What does it mean, one-pointedness of attention, one-pointedness of mind? And even the word concentration, focus, comes in with shamatha. I'm going to read a little bit from what the way Tsongkhapa himself defines meditation. And you all know the classical definition of meditation, and you would expect that Tsongkhapa would give us that same sort of classical definition. Oh yeah, accustoming the mind to that which is virtuous. Okay. But here, Tsongkhapa is defining meditation from the perspective of what you say. What is it that you're actually doing what is it that you're doing that is being called meditation? Okay, listen to this. That which is known as meditation is the act of sustaining an object of meditation. Okay, he's repeating himself with the word meditation, but pay attention. That which is known as meditation is the act of sustaining an object of meditation. That's one part of it. And the other part of it is and specific subjective aspects. Okay, so meditation has two things going on: sustaining an object of meditation and also sustaining specific subjective aspects. And how is this action? What is this action? This action is repeatedly directing attention. Okay, so when you understand meditation to be this way, it doesn't matter what meditation you're doing. Does it have those two things? And what are those aspects of the mind that you're sustaining? That's what I was referring to every once in a while when I say, what are the signs of meditation? These are the aspects that you're sustaining and enriching, the calm, the pleasantness, the sense of clarity, the sense of radiance, the sense of collecting the mind. These are the aspects. And in order for us to uh, engender, that's a nice term to use now. In order for us to engender these aspects, we need an object. And the reason that we need an object is because of uh, our habit, unfortunate habit. We have mastered this habit of distraction. Okay. So shamatha is basically allowing ourselves to no longer be distracted. And it's not distraction it's not just distraction. Don't just think of it as, okay, I'm meditating and then I am distracted. But in a greater, broader understanding of distraction, we're talking about our life is distracted. And what is distraction itself? What does it mean when we use the term, when we say that I am distracted or so-and-so is distracted? There is something happening. The thing that is happening, we are not aware of it. We are distracted from it. So in the greater context, life is happening and we are distracted from life. And that's what makes life lack meaning, because we are distracted from life. And what are the things that are happening? Some of them are not pleasant. Some of them are pleasant, some of them are not pleasant. When they are pleasant, we become distracted through attachment. When they are unpleasant, we become distracted through aversion. Aversion and attachment, they're basically the same kind of mind, the mind of distraction, not being with what is going on. When something is visceral, when something is coming from your very beingness, whether it is pleasant or unpleasant, that is life. And to have a sense of the meaningness of life, that's what we have to be with. Okay? It doesn't mean that that's what we have to attach ourselves to, let the unpleasantness continue perpetually. Let the pleasantness continue perpetually. That's not what it means to be with it. But rather, by being with it, by being present with it, by not being distracted from it, we are allowing ourselves to give rise to natural wisdom. We are supposed to engage our experiences with wisdom. And what is that wisdom? To know what is happening when it is happening, as it is happening. One of the aims that is presented a lot as far as what is the aim of meditation? Why meditate in the first place? And in many of the texts, many of the sutras, in many different traditions, the consensus is to be able to see reality as it is. That's the aim of meditation. Now, in that very statement, to be able to be with reality as it is making a statement. And the statement that it is making is that, A, you're doing something, we are doing something, we are habituated ourselves in such a way that we are not being with reality as it is. And we think that just because we exist, just because we are living, just because we are living our lives, we are with life, we are with existence, we are with reality. But we are not. It is because we are not with reality, that's why the constant striving comes from, the constant looking comes from. because we are constantly distracting ourselves from what is right here, right now, which is reality. And it comes from a trauma. This is a traumatic sort of reactivity. We are responding to the trauma that is connected to existence. And we think that we are convinced the way to deal with the trauma that is connected with existence, connected with our, let's say, connected with our way of existing, we believe that distraction will help us deal with the trauma. That's why we are so habituated to distraction. We are convinced it is the way to deal with the trauma. But it doesn't work. It has not worked, and it will never work. There will not be a time when distraction will ever be a means of resolving the trauma. So what is it that we need to do? We need to be with what we need to be with whatever is going on. We need to be present with whatever is going on. That is how we deal with the trauma in a way where we arrive at healing, at being actually arrive at a place where we say, now we are healed from the trauma. Okay. And in this trauma, and I think we mentioned it before, this propulsion to distract ourselves, what is fueling it is, I want meaning, I want to be happy, I want contentment, but we hand this over to misunderstanding of reality. That is, we hand it over to not looking at reality, but fantasy as to what reality is supposed to be. We believe, we are convinced the only thing that we can encounter with reality, facing it face to face, is trauma. No wonder we have developed distraction as a means of coping with it. Okay, you hear that? Because we are convinced, I'm going to say it this way to some of you people who are, a lot of you Buddhist oriented people. It is because we are afraid of emptiness. We are afraid of it. We are afraid of the true nature of reality because we are convinced it is connected to trauma. And the reason that we have become so adept at distracting ourselves is because we are so convinced that, you ever notice that whenever your mind is settling, there's the reactivity to distraction is sort of like is sort of losing its power, and there's a sense of reality dawning. And immediately, for a lot of people, there's a fear that comes up. And we associate that fear with reality as it is, naked reality. And this is an unconscious thing. So we associate trauma with naked reality. In other words, we associate trauma with the true nature of reality. We associate trauma with emptiness. That's why it's so difficult to be able to see emptiness directly. So because of this habit, we have become masters at distraction. So shamatha is sort of reconditioning the mind so it's no longer a victim of distraction. We are a samsaric existence. What is an existence where we are being, we're having traumatic reactivity constantly taking place. Sorry for the very Western psychological words that they sound cute and sexy, so that's why I'm using them. Okay. Because of our cycling of traumatic reactivity, because we are, and that's what samsaric is, right? Cycling of traumatic reactivity. And what keeps this going, what keeps this going is distraction. And the reason that we go to distraction is because our unenlightened, our unwise, our sort of just compulsive response to get rid of a problem led us to distraction. Okay, so that's where the habit of distraction comes from. So when you witness yourself under the sway, directly under the sway of distraction, remind yourself that that's something I was trying to do to help me deal with the trauma. So don't beat yourself up because you're prone to distraction. It is a device, it is a means that we use to try to get ourselves out of trouble. It wasn't wise, but the thing is, the intention was good. And because the mind is so powerful, it created this habit of distraction so well, so perfectly, that it's now on automatic. It's an automatic pilot. Because it is now an automatic pilot, we feel ourselves being drawn here and there by it. It is, you could say, it is absolutely controlling us. We totally give power to it because we don't ask when. Okay. For those people who are Star Trek fans, you will fully understand what I'm about to say. If you're not a Star Trek fan, start watching Star Trek. Okay. As to when this thing started, it started when there was no when. If you're a Star Trek fan, you will understand. If you're not a Star Trek fan, I understand your confusion. Basically, stop looking for when it started. That is itself a distraction from what is actually present. Okay. And we might think that distraction, we are under the sway of distraction only when we are sitting down, trying to meditate, our eyes closed, and then we're trying to visualize some beautiful thing or trying to bring up some beautiful emotion, and then some other thing comes up. I need, what am I going to eat for dinner? Oh, that's distraction. No, that's not distraction. That's not even distraction. Okay. Distraction is someone says something you disagree with and you blow up. Blowing up is distraction. You're distracting yourself from from the actual feeling of why you feel offended by what was said. Getting angry, thinking that getting angry and blowing up and then saying all kinds of things that are defensive. You're being defensive, you're being offensive, and you think that you're dealing with it. You're not dealing with it. You're distracted. You're distracting yourself. The actual thing that is happening, the feeling that is actually present, we are distracting ourselves from it. Okay. So when you think of distraction in this broader term, not just some specific tiny, minute little needle thing when you're sitting down to meditate for the 5 minutes or 15 minutes that you decided to meditate in your life. You think that's the only time you encounter distraction. Of course, distraction is present there, but it doesn't just come up just then and there. It's happening throughout our lives. From the moment that we encountered something as a baby, you felt hungry, and you weren't immediately satisfied. Where's that lady with my food? Why isn't she here? How is it that I'm hungry and my hunger is not being satiated? I am hungry. I want something. I'm not having it. That is trauma. And this is right then and there. How do I take care of it? Since I cannot give myself the satisfaction, I cannot satisfy my hunger at right then and there. So what do I do to at least appear to be dealing with it? We create distraction. That's when the habit of distraction begins to come up. Okay. Whenever something is happening and we find ourselves not able to deal with it as it is, and even when we are even trying to, sometimes it seems like we are dealing with it, but we're not dealing with it. Whenever you're not able to deal with what's going on, the feeling that's coming up, the situation that comes up, dealing with it in a way that is not dysfunctional, dealing with it in a way where we actually arrive at a harmony. You could say harmony has been disturbed. And whenever you find yourself not able to deal with it in a way where harmony is restored, we have fallen prey to distraction. So shamatha is not just something we're supposed to do just sitting down in the morning or at night when we say, okay, now I'm going to meditate, or I'm going to a retreat, a shamatha retreat. And that's supposedly when you're taking care of, that's when you're doing shamatha. You're supposed to be taking care of shamatha throughout the day. When you're having an argument, are you aware that you're having an argument? When you're having an argument, are you aware of who is speaking through your mouth? Are you aware that you're being defensive? What are you defending? Are you aware that you are attacking? Why are you attacking? And if these things are happening and you're not aware of why they're happening, they are themselves distractions. And when you try to sit to meditate, that habit is not going to just go away. Okay. When you're trying to sustain attention on exactly what you want to sustain attention on within the space of those mental inner subjective aspects of calm, clarity, radiance, when you're not able to sustain them by the action of repeatedly bringing the mind to them, repeatedly bringing the mind to them, that is what is referred to as mindfulness. Repeatedly take attention. This is attention. This is what it's on. This is attention. This is what it's on. This is attention. This is what it's on. How do you know that it's what it's on? It's aware of the calm. The calm is this way. It's aware of the peace. The peace is this way. It's aware of the pleasantness. The pleasantness is this way. I feel this much in my left toe. I feel this much under my left eye. You're aware of that. Your attention is constantly being brought in. And of course, in the beginning, this will be tiresome. And as you're trying to stop your mind from the habit of being distracted, remember, you gave energy away to the habit of distraction. Habit of distraction has your energy. That's why when you're trying to not be distracted, you feel tired. You feel lacking energy. The energy is in the distraction. the distraction has the energy to distract you. So of course, there's going to be a slow regaining of that energy. In the beginning, the tiny bit of energy that you have left that you didn't give to distraction will be insufficient to actually keep the mind, keep bringing attention back in a flow. Remember, there is, okay, for you emptiness people there, is going to appreciate this, because there is no one thing called attention that you hold and put down. That's why it's not just take attention and put it down and watch it. There's no such thing as attention that you can grab hold of and put it down. All these things are fluxes, all these things are flows, all these things are processes. So you get yourself into the groove of the process called attention. And we have to constantly feed it. You have to constantly feed the process called attention. But because we lack energy, because we give all our energy to distraction, we achieve tiredness quickly in the beginning. And because we lose the power of the energy of being able to maintain the process of keeping the process of attention, the habit, and so the energy dies down, and of course, distraction comes in, and we are distracted. And what do you do at that moment when you're distracted? Look at this beautiful, powerful thing I set up, thinking that it was going to help me. Look how powerful I am, that even though I don't want to be distracted, I've set this thing up so powerfully that it is able to distract me. Wow, I'm powerful. Now I want that energy that I've invested in this process called distraction, and I'm going to take it back. But the self, remember, think of self as a process, as a conglomerate of different self that comes and go, different identities, okay? So the flow of our habit, call it the flow of selves that we have created, that we have invested, okay, protect me. I believe, I'm convinced reality is trauma. Because it is trauma, I need to make sure I stay away from it. So protect me. So it's just doing the job that it was invested. So since it's doing its job, congratulate it. Say, good, nice job. Look how nice you're able to distract me. That's very good, okay? And then don't fight it. The best way to make yourself less and less distractible is stop fighting distraction. Okay, stop fighting distraction. Take that tiny little bit of energy that you have, that we have left in being able to hold attention, and keep strengthening it. Okay? And whenever you come with a sense of, I'm not able to develop shamatha. My mind is just not that kind of mind that can develop shamatha. I am a unique being. I have a special power called incapable of achieving shamatha. I'm a special being. Okay, I cannot concentrate. I have the only mind in the entire universe that cannot achieve concentration. My mind is special, okay? So instead of coming up with this nonsense in your mind, right, discouraging yourself, strengthening discouragement about not being able to achieve shamatha, just tell yourself, look at this beautiful thing that I'm able to do. Distraction is not just some self-existent thing that exists in the universe. We participated in it. We brought it into existence. We give it reality. Look how powerful we are in being able to create things. We created distraction. And we've set it on automatic pilot. We don't have to keep We don't have to consciously, manipulate it. We don't have to consciously control it. It's an automatic pilot. It's like planes nowadays. I hear they don't really need pilots anymore. Most of the time, the planes are flying by themselves. As we actually, yeah, most of the time the planes are flying by themselves. So look how great that we are able to create this thing. So distraction is something that we have created. It's powerful. So instead of blaming the distraction itself, but look at yourself, how powerful you are to have been able to actually create that. Okay, so what is meditation? How do you achieve shamatha? What is shamatha? Shamatha is when we have finally arrived at the state where we are able to no longer be distracted, where we are able to hold attention with reality. We are able to hold attention and let it stay there, where we have completely divested the habit of distraction of all the energy that we have placed in it. We have reclaimed that energy. And that sustaining energy, that sustained distraction is now able to sustain holding attention. Holding attention, where the mind is now settled. We have arrived at a point where the mind is able to just remain settled where it is set. And there's no tendency anymore for the mind to go elsewhere, for attention to go elsewhere. So you will realize in that one, the mind is distracted because it believes there's something better out there. Better than what? Better than reality, because reality is connected with trauma. Okay? That's what is referred to as attachment. So when you're meditating, you're trying to hold attention. You try to keep attention settled somewhere. Because there's conviction, what the mind is settling on is not as good as something out there. And since it is the nature of mind to find the better, if you're convinced I'm not having the better right here, right now, better is somewhere else, then distraction will come and say, hey, come on, let me take you to better. This is not better. So one of the means of helping the mind to begin to collect its energy so it can become more and more settled is at first artificially conjure interest. Oh my God, the breath is the most beautiful thing in the world. Oh, look at the breath. Oh my God, that's temperature. Look at that. The temperature is warm at this place. It's warm. Oh my God. Oh, it's cool now. Oh my God, the breath. Oh my goodness. There's nothing better than the breath. Okay? Whatever it is that you're trying to settle the mind in, if there is no genuine interest in it, if there is an unconscious disinterest in it, the habit of distraction will take you away. Okay. So when they say find the object to train your mind, to settle your mind is, that is, find something that there is a natural interest in, a natural proclivity for. Okay. And if you don't know what that is, then you ask a teacher. That is someone with whom you have invested trust, that when they say, okay, practice on this, there's so much trust in that that will be enough for your mind to say, okay, I will settle my mind on this, because it's very important, because that person whom I trust very much told me this is what I need to put my mind on. Okay, that will give you the energy you need, the capacity to hold attention there. Uh, there are so many other things to help with shamatha. Okay. One of the things that, especially people who've been trying to, I think from the moment that we began the path, we heard about shamatha, I said, oh, that's wonderful. And we thought about all the wonderful things that we will be able to accomplish once we have shamatha. And then we try shamatha, we try shamatha, we try shamatha, and we are nowhere close to anything that we can call shamatha. We keep trying, we keep trying, we keep trying. And eventually we start to give up. We start to either unconsciously believe that there's no way I can accomplish this thing. And it's because we don't really know what shamatha is. We forgot what shamatha is supposed to be. That first spark of interest in shamatha, that's where the knowing of what shamatha is supposed to be. That's where it's supposed to be. So we have to go find that spark again, that spark of interest. And within that spark of interest, there is a more realistic understanding of what shamatha is supposed to be. It's not some mystical thing. It's not some abstract thing. It's not some foreign thing. It's not some exotic thing. It is simply the mind no longer under the sway of distraction. And in all the broad ways that you can consider distraction. And that's why Master Shantideva in the Bodhisattvacharya Avatara mentioned that, how does it go again? Something about danger being being in the fangs of distraction. And when you think about fangs, right? Think about something that's about to cause you a lot of pain, a lot of misery. And that's where we are. That's what distraction is. Distraction, when we live in distraction, we are living in the fangs of suffering. Okay. So shamatha is not just some fancy thing. It's not just, that's for those people. Okay. If you have a life where you're not able to deal with reality, you need shamatha. If you have a life where you want meaning to come out of it, you need shamatha. Forget about those supposedly lofty goals. Okay? Being able to see emptiness directly, being an adiya, being an arahata, those kinds of fancy things. The buddhi, satava, all those kinds of fancy things, achieving the 7th level, the 8th level, the 10th level, those kinds of things. Forget about those things because they all depend on shamatha. Shamatha is the foundation of all realizations. I'm not talking about simply realizations in terms of being able to fly, being able to fly up in the sky in your body, be able to walk on water. And I'm talking about this kind of realization. I'm talking about the realization of being able to be calm and yet be upset because you're upset about something that is worth being upset about and you're not completely become dysfunctional because of it. Calmly deal with things that upset you. Remember, the world is unsettling. It will continue to be that way. It will continue to present you with things that will make you run towards distraction so you will not have to deal with it. It will continue to be that way. So how do we settle the mind so that we are not blown here and there by the winds of distraction? We all need shamatha. So what are the conditions for achieving shamatha? Better find out. I'm not going to tell you them right here, right now. But I'll give you one of the very important key of achieving shamatha. Be interested in what you're training your mind to develop shamatha with. If you have no interest in it, doesn't matter what they say about it. Oh, meditate on this. It will give you whatever. You're able to eat ice cream and never get sick. I know that there's a meditation like that. I'm sure somebody has promised somebody something like that. So, and if you're not interested in that, and that will not be your object of meditation, because your mind will want something better. It's already convinced there is something better, and the energy of distraction will easily take you away. That is not being able to deal with what's going on, with reality as it is. Okay. All right. Let me wrap up a little bit. I said I was going to read a lot from Jason Kappa. I only read one thing. I'm not going to read that much. Okay, I'm going to put my reading glasses back on. Don't run away. Don't worry. I'm just going to read something, a quote. Not from Jason Kappa, actually. I mean, and the things that you need that are necessary are not just things with the mind. You also need to take care of the body in order to achieve shamatha. You need to take care of your physical health in order for you to achieve shamatha. You're not two things. Okay, your flow where there's a body and the mind, the subject, object, emotions. All those parts have to participate in the achieving of shamatha. Okay. Mm-hmm. And also, and some of you will not want to hear this, and some of you are saying yeah when you hear it. So it's not just when you sit down you're taking care of achieving shamatha. Throughout your day, you are influencing your capacity to achieve shamatha. Okay, throughout the day, that is what you consciously, deliberately bring your attention to. The kind of habit you habituate attention to will determine whether or not you will be able to achieve shamatha. If you are prone to distracting activities, that you're some kind of person, you have a personality where you constantly feel the need to have a distraction. You're feeding that habit, and it will make it difficult to achieve shamatha. And what I wanted to say, it's a quote from Dhammakirti. Oh yeah, of course. And for some people who are very interested in the Bodhisattva path, that is being able to be of true service to others. Without shamatha, you cannot really be of service to others. So you are thinking about, oh, I don't want those kinds of things. I just want to be of service to people. Those kinds of lofty things about the mind and things like that. Without shamatha, and let's rephrase it. What does it mean without shamatha? Without being under the power of being able to be distracted willy-nilly, completely outside of your control by some outside force, you will not be able to be effective in how you're able to be of service to others. So not only does it deprive you of ability to be able to be of service to yourself, it deprives us of being able to be of service to others also when we don't have shamatha. Okay. That's all I think I wanted to say. Sorry, for those of you who are thinking I was going to go into the 9 stages of meditation, sorry, I'm not going into that. You've heard that 20,000 times already, and it hasn't helped you much, does it? Okay, so let's go into the seriousness of it. Shamatha is not some abstract. It deals with you dealing with your everyday life. Okay, it's not just for those people who want to go to the caves. It's for you who want to be able to relate in a way that is not dysfunctional. with your environment, with yourself, with the people around you, okay? Be able to deal with problems when they come in a way that is not dysfunctional, okay? And maybe there's a course somewhere where you can learn shamatha deeply and have some experience of it. Okay, all right, I promise I would not make this long, and I didn't make it as long as I used to, but I'm cutting it short right here, right now. So if you have any questions, you can ask questions.
Hey, Phuntsok. So my question is on this point that you made about not fighting distraction. I think I struggle with that idea because I get the sense that like not fighting it is kind of giving into it in a way.
Mm-hmm,
and personally, I come from a faith where you do a lot of praying and you hope things will get better.
mm-hmm.
So I've personally invested a lot of effort into trying to consciously deal with things in a way that like I can see myself doing something. So I have a lot of like aversion to that idea. So how do I approach something like that with my sort of mindset?
Okay, good. Not fighting it means, let's say you're trying to achieve shamatha using the breath, right? And as your attention is on the breath, you have achieved some degree of settling attention on the breath. You're aware of the breath. You're able to tell yourself, you're able to witness, perceive these things that are happening are things that are happening with the breath. And then distraction comes. Fighting distraction means put the breath to the side and then turn your attention towards the distraction, and trying to somehow wrestle with distraction and somehow you make it stop being distraction. It's a sense of also trying to push the mind away, right? So the way to deal, one way of dealing with it is, instead of turning attention towards distraction and the sense that we have, I'm distracted. Okay, what am I supposed to do? Okay, bring my attention to the breath. And there's a tendency, there's a sense in the mind of somehow holding the distraction like this away from you, trying to push it from, trying to keep it from entering into your space, right? That's fighting it. So when I say don't fight it, it's because of this. What you bring attention to, you empower or you energize. So when the distraction is there, it's not that you're not aware that it is there. It's not that with it continuing to be there, you're okay with it, but rather not directing attention to it, you're not energizing it. Okay. So whenever any distraction comes, let it be like a bell ringing, telling you, your mind, there is something about the breath that you're not aware of. And because of that space that you've allowed to be there, distraction came into that space. So become more and more interested in the breath. Create a fantasy about the breath, as long as it is about the breath, not something outside of the breath. Don't create a fantasy about the breath, or the breath is one with the universe, and it's when it's not something that you're actually experiencing. That's very nice, and it could be something that is real for some people, but for you right here, right now, is it something that you're experiencing? The breath is one with the universe. It may not be. If it is, okay, good. All right. But if it's not, don't go into that abstract. Just think, I'm feeling warmth, I'm feeling coolness, my chest is moving this way, there's a little contraction here, all that's dealing with the breath. So whenever anything other than what's going on with the breath is coming into your awareness, let it be a bell ringing. There's something about the breath I'm not paying attention to. So rather than fighting that, trying to push it away, just go to the breath. Find something else about the breath that you say, oh, that's very interesting. And that sense of interest will help anchor the mind. And because you have now told the keeper, hey, when something is not better than what I have, take me away from here. So you sort of told it that, oh, there is something good here. So the tendency for it to take you away to something better is sort of satisfied. Okay, that's why when you're very, very interested in something, you have natural focus. Okay, now the thing is, you want to be able to do this consciously, not in a distracted way. It's like we focus distractedly, right? But rather keep paying attention. The thing is, keep paying attention to what you're training your mind to achieve shamatha with. Don't pay attention to anything else. Be aware of them. They're there in the space. Don't push them away. Don't try to pull them in, but rather let everything that's happening be a means to help you go back to the breath or whatever it is that you're using to train your mind on shamatha. The feeling of love, like metta meditation, feeling of compassion, or maybe a tiny little ball of light you're trying to see. Oh, how I wonder what's the temperature of that. Oh, I wonder what it looks like on the other side of that. I wonder what it looks like under it. So you create interest in it, and that way, by creating interest, you're telling that tendency the better is here already. Let me look for the better in here. Okay. I hope that helps. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. And I think I didn't quite make it. But I'm going to try next time. Okay. All right. So we'll do the closing meditation. It is the same closing meditation that we've been doing all the time. And whatever meditation you're doing, if you have not yet achieved shamatha, that is a means of achieving shamatha. A mind that is completely settled, undistracted, clear, bright, and blissful. Okay? All right. So let's try to get that. So first bring the intention. I'm going to meditate. Feel the body responding cooperatively. Rejoice in this cooperative, positive response from the body. And remember what you experienced the last time you meditated, that sense of touching the meditative state. Don't worry about recreating it. Just remember it. What it felt like in your body, how it felt like in your breath, how it felt like energetically. Just remember how it felt like in your mind. And somewhere along the way, you will have a sense of touching that space again. And when you have that, rejoice and stabilize with a nice deep breath in through the nose, gently, fully breathe in. In through the mouth, breathe out. And as you breathe out, let yourself go. Let yourself go in the body. Let yourself go in the mind. Let yourself go. Let you witness yourself going deeper into that space of calm, that space of pleasantness, that place of clarity, that place of radiance. And witnessing those signs, rejoice. And now bring the sense of me. What is me? It is a process made up of many different processes that I call me. And in one sense, I can call me us. My arms, my legs, my torso, my head, my eyes, all these together make a kind of a us. And this us has a sense of instinct. As soon as my right hand needs help, the left hand immediately is ready to help without thinking that, oh, that's the right hand, it needs help again. Oh, always bothering me. The left hand thinking, I need help, and it goes to help. Left foot needs help. Then your hand says, I need help, and it goes towards the left, towards the foot. So have that sense of us. Build it. Feel it. And now extend that sense of us in the same way that your legs and arms and torsos and muscles and blood and all those different parts extended their sense of self into the entirety of you. Extend it now to us gathered here. In the same way your right hand was ready to help your left hand, have a sense of you ready to help the person across from you, the person to the left of you, the person to the right of you. And keep repeating us, us, us. And as that sense of us gains strength and momentum and validity and a sense of conviction, there's this beautiful bright light appearing in the very center of our circle. And as that sense of us gets stronger, that bright light gets brighter and wider, brighter and wider, until it completely envelops every single one of us into it. And that sense of us is stronger. And now it continues to expand, where everything and everyone that it touches, we feel that sense of us. It continues to expand. Your neighbors are included. Now they are us. And that tendency, that instinct for the right hand to help the left hand, you feel it to help your neighbor. That's me. That's us. And it continues to expand. Your entire neighborhood continues to expand. Every pet continues to expand. Every person, your entire state, your entire country, your entire continent continues to expand until the entire earth is absorbed into that usness, appearing as a bright presence. And know, in the same way you felt an instinct for the right hand to help the left, you feel that instinct to help the ocean, to help the rivers, because that's us, to help the trees, to help the birds, to help the bees. That's us. You feel the same way towards the Democrats, towards the conservatives, towards the Republicans, towards the socialists, towards the communists, towards the independents, towards the liberals, towards whatever name they give themselves. It's like right hand, left hand. It's all us. It's all us. Having completely been imbued with the sense of usness, we no longer need this visual cue because it is within us now. And because of that, as a result, as a effect of that realization, that big bright ball of light begins to recede, begin to shrink. And as it shrinks, whatever it touched, that sense of usness is left there as a bright glow. Continues again until it returns to this bright presence right in the center of our circle. And we are imbued with this shine, with this shiny sense of usness. And we know that when we take care of this us here, we are taking care of the greater us. When we take care of the greater us, we are also taking care of the smaller us. And with that, that big bright presence in the center no longer needs to be there to give us a cue to remind us, because it is now embodied. And as a sign of that, it becomes rays of light that dissolves into each one of our hearts. And with that, dwell with the space of the meditation, the calm, the pleasantness, and how that space is qualified, affected by holding the sense of usness. And through this, we've gained some powerful spiritual powers or energy, or we've collected lots of merit, as some say. Now, we can do something with that. We can direct this energy that we have collected together as a group, as a community, and we can direct it towards achieving a collective goal. Gewadi Kyoken Sunam Yeshe Tzodzokshing Sunam Yeshe Lechungwe Tamba Gunye Tobar Sho. If you have your own personal dedication you wish to make it for yourself, for someone you know, for a group, for a community, whatever is sincerely wished for. Okay, get ready to come out of the meditation. With the intention to come out of the meditation, first bring that conviction, that sense of I am meditating. Take joy in that sense that you are indeed in some measure meditating. You are sustaining attention. You're sustaining certain qualities. You're abiding in some degree of virtue. And with that intention to come out, take a nice deep breath, feel it, hear it. And through the mouth, breathe out. And deliberately, consciously bring attention to your immediate surroundings through your sense of touch, sense of hearing, and your sense of sight. Thank you. Okay, so that was okay, a little more than an hour. Next time we'll be closer to the hour. Okay, I know people need to go out and go to parties and things like that, so we're going to give you time. Okay, thank you. And announcement from Liz.
Thank you so much, Phuntsok. Thank you everyone for joining here live and through the recordings. Just a quick announcement, very relevant to today's topic. Phuntsok will be leading an 8-week course along with some wonderful teachers like Kathy, who's here, Sharon Salzberg, Sylvia Borstein, some teachers you might recognize from the New York mindful community. And it'll be an 8-week course on how to build a daily meditation practice that's personal to you. And that starts on September 20th. And we'll share full details about that in an upcoming email. And also, Phuntsok is generously opening up more of his free time to take private sessions. So this is a great opportunity to ask him any questions about this topic, Shamatha, or any questions you have about your own practice and life application. So you can schedule your session in the link in the chat. Oops, sorry.
Oops.
And please offer Donna for this class via Venmo or ongoing patronage through Patreon. Thank you so much to all the Patreon members here. Your generosity allows Phuntsok to continue teaching and creating more opportunities for more offerings in the future. And thank you so much, and see you in 2 weeks.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Love you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Oh, I'm in 2 places.